screen here, but I believe we are, because it usually goes right away. Let's see. We are. Woohoo! So here we are. It's Dave and Ginny, and you know what the heck, Dave? What is BYOD, and why the heck do any of our people care?
Well, the BYOD stands for Bring Your Own Device, and it basically means people are using their own devices, personal devices, tablets, phones, PCs, laptops, etc., to get their work done, be that in the office or at home or on the road, wherever it might be. And so
I'm bringing my laptop.
You're going out of town.
I am.
There's just some common sense suggestions, I guess. It's nothing, nothing new or earth shattering.
But we didn't finish the question there. We said, but bring your own device. But why do you care is because of the thing that we're always talking about, right?
Yep.
Security. When your employees are bringing their own devices, it also introduces something else in your organization that you have to worry about. Security with your business data. Right?
Another risk.
Yes.
It's another way into your network, or for people to steal your data, passwords, email addresses, whatever it might be. So they just talk about, and this is on our webpage.
If you get and if you get our newsletter, if you don't get our newsletter and you go to our website, hit news and sign up for our newsletter, because we talk about a lot of these topics and share tips in there.
Correct.
So this particular blog article is in our newsletter today. So we're actually talking about it live, giving you some extra knowledge.
Right.
Okay.
So general guidelines.
Go ahead.
The first one they talk about is acceptable parameters, and they mean like the device and operating system requirements. The tools and I'm just reading here a little bit, the tools your team brings to you need to meet baselines that you set. You can't have a Windows XP machine if your company's antivirus doesn't run on it, or it can't hook up to a firewall or to a server or whatever that might be.
Yeah. So, and then not to mention that the operating systems themselves aren't updated anymore when they reach end of life. Like Windows 7, for example, doesn't get any more security updates.
Correct.
So you need
accepted software. Again, we had talked about this on another segment about making sure that your software is seamless with what you use for ease of use. Like we talked about Office versions. If I'm using Open Office on my laptop at home and I'm sending out all these documents and people have trouble on their work PCs because they have Word or something else, that can be a production issue, and it can be a security issue.
Yep.
And then upkeep policies, make sure the device is functional for one thing, and secure. Are your kids able to access it? Young kids, or your parents, or whatever, that don't understand all these policies you put in place, and they don't care. They're just clicking online, doing gaming or shopping, whatever, and have no concept of the policies your company's put in place that you need to follow. So those are the first three. This is kind of backwards. I want to jump down to the prerequisites that they talk about. this should have probably been the first thing we talked about. But they talk about data removal circumstances. You know, what are you going to do if a device is lost or stolen, or you got a new one? Oh, geez, you know, I can get $300 credit if I give my cell phone to my carrier, you know, for my and I'm getting a new one. What about all that data on there? You know, it's your device, so certainly you're able to, you know, whatever you want to do with it, but you have a responsibility to your company with all the data on there, and whatever else might be, passwords, etc., software, to understand what to do.
From the business owner's standpoint, you just need to have some policies in place, right?
Yep. If it gets lost, if it gets stolen, if you're, you know, if you quit or get fired or, you know, retired,
what happens? Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then what happens if someone doesn't follow those requirements? They call it breach of policy consequences. So, you know, Dave had his own cell phone he was using for work. Hey, I'm getting the next greatest version of my cell phone, and I got my $300 or whatever it was for turning my old one in. You know, did I wipe it first? You know, did I take all my data off it? Did I sell it on eBay to someone? Even worse than turning it into your phone company, who probably would be more likely to tell you you need to wipe it first than someone you sold it to on on the internet. And if that happens, what do we do? You know, do we revoke your privileges? Say you're not allowed to have it on your new phone because you were wrong last time. So you got to be prepared of, you know, what you're going to do if that happens. You know, I don't know, you know, up to and including firing someone. I don't know. Depends, I guess, how bad it is, but should be prepared for that anyway.
Yep.
And then we get
being a parent.
And then we get lastly to, what's our favorite word, Jenny?
Security.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Password security, right? Is that what you're going to?
That's one of them. Encryption.
Yeah. Encryption. Oh.
Yes.
Even on your phone?
Yes.
Oh.
Like if you're required, say by HIPAA, to encrypt emails because you're sending you know, medical information in your emails, they need to be encrypted from a tablet or a cell phone. That's a requirement. So you have to understand that has to be put in place. Password standards. First line of defense is your password. Got to be strong. You know, don't use it the same one on every device, as always. You know, broken record here, but you make sure you're on all your devices are. And I'm gonna give an example here of, we're not talking about this, bring your own device, but people don't realize that your garage door opener, your fridge, your thermostats, if you have remote access to them, so you can open your garage door with your cell phone to let your kids in, or, you know, whatever it might be, turn your heating, air conditioning off. A lot of those are hooked up wirelessly to your network. Got to have a password on that. You know, you can't make it 1, 2, 3, 4 because the bad guy that's driving by and sees an open wireless access point and gets into your home computers, which are then connected to your work network through a Wi-Fi port, you know, through your thermostat or garage door opener. You know, you have to cover. These people are not stupid. We talk about that all the time.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yep. We just had a lady call in 20 minutes ago who fell for the Amazon scam and gave some black hats her credit card number.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, you know, when that little voice tells you that it's not real, trust
it. Believe it. It's better to be overly
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for?
You can't be too suspicious or cautious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's better to be overly, I mean, of that kind of thing.
Right.
Because, yeah, it's easier to go back into my trash folder and dig it back up when someone says, "Hey, Ginny, did you get my email?" And I'll be
Right.
like, "Oh, I thought it was spam." So I'll go back
And
in
certainly if
there.
it's someone like Amazon calling you, if you have an Amazon account, go to that account online. Don't call a number you don't.
Why would they call me?
Exactly.
Right? So yep. And same with the I know it's tax season, so I know that a lot of those IRS calls start too. Those spoofy IRS calls. The IRS isn't going to call you.
No. And I call it the nose test. Does it pass the smell test? That doesn't
Right? Okay.
Yeah. And then the last item is just data handling guidelines. What are you allowing people to access on your internal network from that device? And certainly you can block them from, like you do on your work network. Like not everybody has access to the accounting thing because that's where people's payroll information is or whatever.
Right.
You have to keep track of that.
All right.
So
good stuff.
That's pretty much it.
So if you need a security assessment for your business, go to our website.
Who do you call?
Who do you call? You call Dave.
Yes.
You call Dave and you fill in a security assessment form, which goes right to Dave. So he'll go over your network and let you know where the holes are so we can fill them.
Exactly.
If you want us to fill them. There's no obligation, but we do this for free. So make it a great day, and thanks, Dave.
Next week, we may not be on the air.
Well, we will.
Oh.
But
a restream?
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be a replay.
A rerun.
A rerun. So do come and ask your questions because somebody will keep an eye on your questions. All right. So
you got it.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Jenny.